Where's your emergency?
Hi, I am on Interstate 459, and there is a kid just walking by themselves.
Oh, hold on. Where on 459 are you?
I'm right next to the exit 10 by the Hoover Met, like to get off by the Hoover Met.
Okay, so you're before that exit?
Yes.
Okay, and were you headed southbound or northbound? Like towards Tuscaloosa or toward 280?
Towards Tuscaloosa.
Okay. And was the child on the left or right side?
On the right side.
Were they walking northbound or southbound?
They're walking towards Tuscaloosa.
Walking southbound? Or how old do they look?
Like a toddler, like maybe like 3 or 4.
Did you pull over with them? Are you still with them?
Yes.
Okay, are you with the child right now?
No, I'm not. I didn't get out of the car. I can see them though.
Do you mind staying and keeping an eye on them until we get there?
Yeah, sure, yeah.
Okay, what kind of car are you in?
I'm in a red Mercedes-Benz.
Is that a sedan or a SUV?
SUV. I mean, it's a sedan. Sorry.
Can you put your hazards on for me?
Yeah, they're on.
Okay. Did you talk to the child at all, or did you say anything to them?
No.
Okay.
No.
Do they look like they're injured?
No, they don't.
Are they white, black, Hispanic, or Asian?
They're white.
Okay. Is it male or female?
I think it's a boy, a little boy.
White male? Okay. So is he wearing clothes?
Yes.
Okay. What is he wearing?
It's a white T-shirt, and it doesn't look like he has any pants on. It looks like a diaper.
And you don't see any cars anywhere?
No cars are anywhere.
Okay. All right. What's your name?
My name is Carlee Russell.
And you don't see any injuries on the child from where you're at, correct?
No, but I can't really see them that good.
Okay, try to keep an eye on them for the best we can, because I don't want you to lose track of them.
Okay.
All right, and do they have shoes on?
No.
Shoes?
Not that I can see. I can't really see that well.
Okay. All right, I've got them on the way, okay? Just try to keep an eye on them, but officers are on the way, okay?
Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
So, this was the call that the Hoover 911 Center received from 25-year-old Carlee Russell, who made this call on the I-459 South near mile marker 11, reporting that she had seen a toddler walking on the side of the interstate. From this point on, the race was on. 911 would forward this to the police, and the police also set out to get to the scene. When the police got there, Carlee Russell was nowhere to be found, and the kid was also nowhere to be found. At this point, it was looking as though Carlee Russell was also missing. Her family were interviewed, specifically her parents, and they indicated that they were trusting God and staying positive and not allowing any negative thoughts to enter their minds. So all that they want to do is to trust in God and believe that their daughter will be brought home safely. This came from her mom by name Carlee Russell. Her mom said that they do have indication that there may have been a gray vehicle that a trucker allegedly saw pulling up in front of Carlee's car at some point as they were passing along the interstate.
I feel she's in danger. I feel she's been in danger, but I do feel she's alive.
Tonight, a desperate plea for answers from the parents of 25-year-old Carlee Russell.
We want everybody, across the world to be on the lookout for Carlee Russell.
In one word, what have the past few days been like?
Horrific.
As volunteers and law enforcement scour the Hoover, Alabama area, for any sign of the 25-year-old who went missing Thursday night after police say she called 911 to report seeing a toddler walking alone on the side of Interstate 459. Authorities say Russell stopped to check on the child and called a family member, the last person to speak with her before she disappeared.
She heard a scream and then some type of running type shuffle.
Police say when they arrived, they found Russell's vehicle, but no sign of Russell or the child. Police say they have not received any reports of a missing child. A witness reported possibly seeing a gray vehicle with a light-complexioned man standing outside Russell's car.
We have no further information on that individual or the vehicle at this time.
Russell was last seen wearing a black shirt and pants with Nike shoes, police say. Her mom says her hair may be braided down to her scalp and that she has a scripture tattoo on her shoulder. Identifiers that Russell's family and police hope will lead to clues that help bring her home.
She is a fighter, and we believe that if there is any opportunity for her to make it home to us, she's going to seize that opportunity.
Priscilla is in Hoover, Alabama tonight. Priscilla, where is the search for Carlee focused now?
Well, Jose, her family is asking folks to pass out these flyers and to check hotels, rest stops, and gas stations, both here in Alabama and in neighboring Georgia, for fear that she may have been taken out of the state. Jose?
From this point, when authorities had gotten there, they found Carlee's wig, hat, and cell phone close to her car. Carlee's mom said since her wig came off, Carlee's hair would be braided down to her scalp. And authorities were unable to find her or the child in the area upon getting there. They also did not receive any other calls of someone missing a small child. So the mystery was on. In the process, at some time, she got out of the car, and my daughter-in-law could hear her asking the child if they were okay. So this is another account that Carlee Russell's mom was giving out. And she went on to further explain that the child did not respond, or at least she did not hear her respond. And then she heard her daughter, Carlee, scream, and from there on, all she could hear was noise, background noise, in her phone, which they later found out was noise from the interstate. This came from Talitha Russell, Carlee Russell's mom. So the mystery was getting more mysterious, because from this point and with this account, it seemed as though there maybe Carlee was a good Samaritan who was trying to go out there and help a kid she had seen on the interstate, and then some unscrupulous people may have abducted her. This was a damsel in distress, a woman who has been kidnapped or abducted, and the police had to race against time. Now, after calling 911, Russell stopped to check on the child, allegedly, and called her sister-in-law around 9:36 p.m. to report the same details. The family member lost contact with her, but the line remained open, and that's how come her mom was saying that she heard all these things. So her mom went on to indicate that the last time she spoke with her daughter, Carlee Russell, was around 9:18 p.m. on Thursday night, when she left Taziki's after picking up food and was headed home to them. She went on to indicate how positive they are staying, and police later went on to say that per their investigations also, Carlee got off work the night before at around 8:20 p.m. from a business at the Summit, and is believed to have stopped to pick up food from a restaurant at the Colonnade before traveling toward Hoover on I-459, where she stopped near mile marker 11 between the Galleria flyover and exit 10. So at this point, this was actually sort of a bit consistent with what her parents had said as far as where she was coming from on that night and where she had stopped on this interstate. Now, this all was happening on the 13th of July, 2023, Fast forward to the 14th of July, 2023. At exactly 4:46 a.m., Carlee Nicole Russell, 25-year-old black female who is 5'4" and 150 to 160 pounds, was reported missing on July 13th. Now, the authorities at this point were saying that Russell was last seen wearing a black shirt, black pants, and white Nike shoes. Carlee has a scripture tattoo on the back of her shoulder that says, "God is within me, she will not fall," and that God will help her at break of day. So the description had been put out, and key indicators had also been put out, such that these were intended to help people identify her if they spotted her anywhere. July 14th, 1 p.m. Update. The Hoover Police Department held a press conference regarding the case of 25-year-old Carlee Nicole Russell, who was possibly abducted on the I-459. So it seemed more specific now that she had actually been abducted per the circumstances that were playing out at the time. Again, same Friday, July 14th, 2:18 p.m., another update. Family and friends of Carlee Nicole Russell held a vigil on Friday afternoon in Hoover's Lake Wilbourn community to gather, pray, and keep Carlee in the community's thoughts. The vigil was actually open to the general public. Alabama Law Enforcement Agency officially issued a missing person advisory at exactly 4:09 p.m. on the same July 14th. Now, on 4:42 p.m. on that same day, searchers started going out to look for Carlee Nicole Russell with the hope of finding her. And eventually, at 9:45 p.m. on the same day, a traffic camera video from Interstate 459 at mile marker 11.7 was obtained for the time period that it was believed that Carlee Nicole Russell had actually disappeared. Then we go to July 15th. According to Crime Stoppers, the reward for information on the case had now been increased to $55,000. Her family also said that no GoFundMe donations are needed. Instead, they are requesting that all donations be made to Crime Stoppers for the family. So you would see that things had escalated and kept building up. Same July 15th at 2:36 p.m., the Hoover Police Department released an additional photo of Carlee that may accurately depict her current appearance without the wig. 11:30 p.m. on the same July 15th, per the Hoover Police Department, the Hoover 911 Center received a call at 10:45 p.m. that Carlee had returned home to her residence. Hoover Police and Fire responded to the scene to evaluate Carlee Nicole Russell and transported her to UAB Hospital for more evaluation. More details were now being sought as and when they could become available. The next day was July the 16th, and at exactly 1:05 a.m., interviews were now being put together to establish what happened after Carlee Nicole disappeared and what was going to happen now that she's back. Family was coming out to talk about they being happy that she's back, thanking God and all, to the extent that Carlee Nicole Russell's boyfriend, by name Thomas Latrell Simmons, released a statement on social media. So this is what he said in a nutshell. He was basically thanking God and his Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, that everybody who shared the picture was also warmly supportive of the whole thing that had been going on with Carlee Russell, and that he's happy that she's back and that he kept his faith. So he was basically just all excited and happy and grateful, seemingly, that she had returned. This seemed like good news. Talitha Russell, Carlee's mom, also released a statement on social media, also in the same direction. But the traffic camera footage was still being analyzed at this point as part of the investigation in conjunction with the 911 call to accurately determine the time frame of the events. The 911 Carlee made remained the only timely report of a child on the I-459. So this means that up until that time, Carlee Nicole Russell actually reported seeing a child on this highway. Nobody had made such a report about any child on that highway. So she was the first, and she broke it through her 911 call. Now, according to the Hoover PD, this was that specific. So fast forward Sunday, July 16th, Hoover PD released new details regarding the return of Carlee Russell. And I'm quoting, "Since the time of the 911 call at 9:34 p.m. on July 13th, the Hoover Police Department has expanded every available resource into locating Carlee, and we believe, or we celebrate actually, with the Russell family on her safe return at approximately 10:45 p.m. on July 15th. I'm done quoting. So at this point, everybody is excited. But knowing what the police stands for, I knew they were going to still dig deeper because they needed to establish what happened. If there are kidnappers out there, we need to get them because the public was also anxious and on edge. Their safety is paramount, and the reassurance of that being in check is also key. The Hoover police said they have worked to retrace Carlee's actions from the time she left the colonnade until she called 911, and they say they are working on completing that task. So at this point in the investigation, investigators had not been able to locate anyone with Carlee from the time she left the colonnade until the 911 call was made. At a press release from the Hoover PD at 10:45 p.m. on July 15th, the Hoover PD Center received a call from Carlee's residence that she had returned home on foot. Hoover PD and fire responded to the residence where Carlee was located. She was immediately transferred to the Hoover Fire Department to UAB Hospital to be evaluated and was treated and released. Now, detectives responded to the residence and to UAB to take an initial statement from Carlee, as is the protocol. The details of that statement are a part of the ongoing investigation, which is expected to continue over the next few days. Now, during the initial portion of the investigation, detectives were able to retrace nearly all of Carlee's steps until the point where she went missing, and were confident that they will continue to break this case and get to the bottom of it. So it was still evolving, and it carried on into Monday, July 17th, 2023, where an update came up again. And this time, the Hoover PD indicated that they are still continuing to investigate and look at the numerous pieces of evidence that have been collected. In their statement, the Hoover PD referred to this being a tedious process. There is no evidence that Carlee Russell was followed after she ordered food from the colonnade, and it appears she was alone during that period. This was what investigators actually put out. They also found that Carlee Russell communicated with people she knew prior to making her 911 call at 9:34 p.m. And also, in her call with 911, a relative she relayed that she had seen a male toddler in a diaper on the side of I-459. That call, like I said earlier, was the first to talk about this child on this interstate highway. It goes on into Tuesday, July 18th. So this is the 5th day after the day she went missing initially. And at 3:15 p.m., the owner of Woodhouse Spa, Birmingham, that is where Carlee Russell works up until the time she went missing, by name Stuart Rome, released the following statement. And I'm quoting, "In response, the many inquiries Woodhouse Spa Birmingham has received over the past several days regarding the Carlee Russell case, we offer the following. Our greatest concern has always been the well-being of Carlee and her safe return. Woodhouse Spa employees have been deeply impacted by the events that transpired, but are now ecstatic with the news of Carlee's return home. Our employees worked extremely hard through every tough time, keeping guests happy while dealing with the fact that their co-worker was missing. We've been working with the Hoover Police Department since Friday morning, the morning following Carlee's disappearance, in order to come up with any information that would help the investigation. Everything was uncovered is in the possession of the Hoover Police Department. We understand the investigation is in a very sensitive state and do not want to release any details that could jeopardize the investigation. Leaks, both true and untrue, can have a devastating impact on any investigation. We understand there are many posts on social media claiming certain information to be true. Some items are factual while others are not. Please rest assured that the Hoover Police Department is working around the clock to bring this case to conclusion." I'm done with my quotes. So this was what Carlee Russell's employer put out. And it makes sense. But then, on that same Tuesday, there was another update. Carlee's mother, Talitha Robinson Russell, released the following statement also. I'm quoting again. This is what Carlee's mom said, and I quote, "On behalf of Carlee Russell and her family, we first want to sincerely acknowledge and thank everyone for all your prayers, reward contributions through Crime Stoppers, and all the numerous acts of kindness shown to us. We ask God to perform, and He did. We understand and appreciate the sincere concern. However, we would like the public to understand a few things. First and foremost, Carlee's physical and mental well-being is our immediate concern. This has been a traumatic experience for Carlee, and secondly, for our family. Secondly, this is an outstanding investigation, and we have fully cooperated with authorities from the onset and will continue to do so. Carlee has given detectives her statement, and hopefully they are pursuing her abductor. It will be up to law enforcement to determine what information they want to release and when they want to release this information, as to not compromise the investigation. Further, we understand there are some questions about the reward donations through Crime Stoppers. It is my understanding from the information I received when the reward was set up that any donations received that were not used for the reward will be returned to each donor. Lastly, when we initially asked for the help of the public in searching and praying for Carlee's safe return, we asked for sincere prayers, not prayers or support that came with strings or entitlement. We have not created nor authorized any GoFundMe accounts, nor solicited money from anyone. Please understand our mental state and the anguish we have just experienced, and that Carlee is still dealing with, and understand that no matter how many demands or false narratives that are produced, we will not be bullied into doing anything that will compromise our daughter's mental well-being or the investigation. Also, we will not entertain the negative social media comments with a response, so you find someone to do it. God has been too good to us and brought our daughter safely home, and we will not participate in allowing this moment to be tainted. There is one terrible and heartless hoax we want to address out of several. I received a text at some point from someone claiming to be Carlee and that she was at the Red Roof Inn. However, when my family went there and knocked doors and looked for her, and there was no indication Carlee was there, nor that she had ever been there. Any further questions or comments about the case would need to be directed to Hoover Police or the ABI. So I'm done with my quotes, and this is what came from Carlee Russell's mom.
We tried to hug her as best we could, but I had to stand back because she was not in a good state. So we had to stand back and let medical professionals work with her. But it's okay. Carlee has given detectives her statement so that they can continue to pursue her abductor.
Do you believe that there's an abductor still out there?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Do you believe she was fighting for her life?
Oh, she definitely fought for her life. There were moments when she physically had to fight for her life, and there were moments when she had to mentally fight for her life.
So basically, it sounded like a statement, but to an extent, it was also a bit of a warning in itself. At least parts of it were. Now, on that same Tuesday, the Hoover Police Department released new details in their investigation of what happened between Carlee Russell's disappearance last Thursday night, July 13th, and her return home Saturday night, July 15th. Among the new details, police say after leaving the colonnade Thursday, Carlee went to Target on Highway 280 and purchased snack food that wasn't found in her car when they found it on the side of Interstate 459. Hoover PD also indicated that they have found no evidence of a toddler walking down the interstate. They indicated further that they were told surveillance video from Carlee's neighborhood shows her walking alone down a sidewalk before getting to her home. Police also said that when first responders arrived at the home, she was conscious and speaking to them when they arrived. The police also said that they are waiting for a chance to get a second interview with Carlee. The press conference was scheduled for Wednesday, July 19th, and this press conference was really being anticipated. And when it came off, the Hoover Police Department went on to explain further that the story literally was not adding up. Some of the things that Carlee had told them, they were struggling to find evidence to corroborate. Now, this is the statement that Carlee Russell gave to the police. Detectives were able to obtain a brief statement from Carlee prior to being treated and released when she came back home. In the statement, Carlee Russell told detectives that while traveling down the interstate, she saw a baby walking down the side of the road and called 911. Carlee said when she got out of her vehicle to check on the child, a man came out of the trees and mumbled that he was there to check on the baby. She claimed that the man then picked her up and she screamed. She told detectives the male was a white man with orange hair and a big bald spot on the back. She stated that he then made her go over a fence and claimed that he forced her into a car, and the next thing she remembers is being in the trailer of an 18-wheeler. Carlee Russell stated that the male was with a female. However, she never saw the female. She could only hear her voice. She also told detectives that she could hear a baby crying. Carlee said she was able to escape the 18-wheeler and fled on foot, only to be captured again and was put in a car. She claims she was blindfolded but was not tied up because the captors said they did not want to leave impressions on her wrists. She said that the man and woman took her into a house and made her get undressed. She believes they took some pictures of her, but she does not remember them having any physical or sexual contact with her. Carlee stated the next day she woke up and was fed cheese crackers by the female. She said the woman played with her hair but could not remember anything else. At some point, she was put back into a vehicle, and she claims she was able to escape while she was in the West Hoover area. Carlee told detectives that she ran through a lot of woods until she came out near her residence. During the interview, detectives noted that Carlee had a small injury to her lip, and she claimed that her head was hurting. She also had a tear in her t-shirt. Detectives also noted that she had $107 cash in her right sock. Out of respect for Carlee and her family, detectives did not press for additional information during this interview, but rather made plans to speak with her in detail after giving her time to rest. So this was the account that Carlee had given to the police. Now, at 10:45 p.m. on July 15th, the Hoover 911 Center received a call from Carlee's residence that told them that she had returned home on foot alone. And in subsequent investigations, surveillance footage showed Carlee walking home. And when the police detectives engaged her, this was what she told them. So let's backtrack a bit to look at how the search for Carlee went. The Hoover police deployed all their available assets to search for Carlee. Additional resources were called in, including Hoover's drone unit, crime scene investigators, and detectives. Throughout the day on Friday, July 14th, officers from surrounding local and federal agencies assisted Hoover police in finding Carlee. Officers returned to the scene on 4/5/9 to conduct a thorough live search for evidence. K9 teams from the Jefferson County Sheriff's Department responded to check for any sign of Carlee, the child that she claimed she saw, and any other thing that could be considered evidence in this case. Those searches all turned up empty, and the community, including Carlee's family and friends, began looking everywhere to find any trace of Carlee throughout the day, Friday, and again on Saturday, which all yielded nothing. So the whole thing was just crazy. But when she returned back home and the police came to give their press conference, that is when everything came back to make sense. This is what the press conference put out, and it began to tilt the conversation about Carlee Russell's disappearance in a different direction. Now, at this press conference, which was held on the 19th of July at exactly 3:38 p.m., the Hoover Police Department said the following, I quote, "Let me say upfront, this investigation is not over. We are still working this case, and we will be working this case until we uncover every piece of evidence that helps us account for the 48 hours that Carlee Russell was missing. However, for the public interest and in some cases public fear, that this story has generated, we owe it to our citizens to tell them the facts that we have uncovered. So, I will give you the facts that we know today. My quote ends. Now, Chief Dezis described the investigation as ongoing, but went on to say that the police did not believe there was an active threat to the public related to this case. He said that investigators have not been able to verify parts of Carlee's initial statement about her disappearance. Detectives continued analyzing data from Carlee's cell phone that was left behind at the scene, and that data on Carlee's cell phone, including her Live 360 app, showed that she traveled 600 yards in her vehicle while she was on the phone with 911, stating that she was following a child. 600 yards. And apparently that's about the size of 6 football fields, straight forward, in a straight line. That's what 600 yards depicts. Chief Dezis also said that part of that data includes several internet searches and the days leading up to her disappearance that police think are relevant to this case. So here are the internet searches. Carlee's internet searches were chronicled with the following timelines. On July 11th at 7:30 a.m., the term, "Do you have to pay for an Amber Alert?" was searched. July 13th at 1 a.m. or 1:03 a.m., the day of Carlee's disappearance, the term, "How to take money from a register without being caught," was also searched. July 13th at 2:13 a.m., the day of her disappearance, the term, "Birmingham Bus Station," was searched. July 13th at 2:35 a.m., a search for a one-way bus ticket from Birmingham to Nashville was conducted with a departure date of July 13th. July 13th at 12:10 p.m., a search for the movie Taken, a film about abduction, was also conducted. There were 2 searches on the computer at Carlee's place of employment, including one regarding the maximum age of an Amber Alert. There were other searches on Carlee's phone that appeared to shed some light on her mindset, but out of respect for her privacy, Hoover police did not release the content of those searches at that time. And I think it makes sense.
Let me say up front, this investigation is not over. We enlisted the help of the United States Secret Service in conducting this analysis. Part of what data includes several internet searches and the days leading up to her disappearance that I think are very relevant to this case. The term, "Do you have to pay for an Amber Alert?" was searched. The day of her disappearance, the term, "How to take money from a register without being caught," was searched. A search for the movie Taken, a film about abduction, was conducted. As we've been unable to verify most of Carlee's initial statement made to investigators, and we have no reason to believe that there is a threat to the public safety related to this particular case.
At this press conference, I watched it actually, and you could see they were just trying to show respect to Carlee and her family by not calling her an outright liar. They just didn't want to use that word, but everything that they were putting out were just cutting out things that Carlee's statement had actually put out as being true. So it became obvious that Carlee was lying. And until recently, Carlee has actually now admitted that she's lying, and she did so through her attorney. He just issued a statement less than 24 hours ago. I have that video on my channel.
Good afternoon. Thanks to everyone for attending again today. I want to thank the members of our department and all of law enforcement who played a role in the investigation of this case. Last Wednesday, July 19th, we held a press conference and provided you with the facts of the Carlee Russell disappearance. We told you the investigation was ongoing. We helped you determine where Carlee was during the 49 hours of her disappearance. Today I've talked to and received a statement from Mr. Emery Anthony, attorney for Carlee Russell. Mr. Anthony has scheduled a meeting for Carlee to meet with investigators early this afternoon but then I received an email stating that a statement was being provided by him on her behalf. Mr. Anthony asked that I read the statement in its entirety, which I will do now. My client has given me permission to make the following statement on her behalf. There was no kidnapping on Thursday, July 13th, 2023. My client did not see a baby on the side of the road. My client did not leave the Hoover area when she was identified as a missing person. My client did not have any help in this incident, but this was a single act done by herself. My client was not with anyone or any hotel with anyone from the time she was missing. My client apologizes for her actions to this community, the volunteers who were searching for her, to the Hoover Police Department and other agencies as well, as to her friends and family. We ask for your prayers for Carlee as she addresses her issues and attempts to move forward, understanding that she made a mistake in this matter. Carlee, again, asks for your forgiveness and prayers. We have a meeting scheduled with Mr. Anthony to further discuss this case. We're currently in discussions with the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office in Bessemer about possible criminal charges related to this case, and we will announce those charges when and if they are filed.
So this video has basically chronicled everything that happened from the time Carlee Russell was reported missing on 13th of July 2023 right up until today, the 25th of July 2023. The case is still ongoing and I'm following it keenly, and I'll bring you updates as and when they are due. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet done so. Leave your comments in the comment section. Come your way next time. Stay safe out there.